Gentlemen, good to see you. Welcome to Pop Alternative.
Thank
Good to
you.
be
Thanks for
here. Thanks
having
for
me.
having us.
It's interesting, Frankie, because it's all storytelling at the end of the day. But like, was there a certain specific mindset or preparation for diving into sci-fi, like, or did you kind of
Ooh.
just tackle it like any ever kind of job?
This one, I just love the script so much, right? That I think I said yes and like was like on my way to start filming before I realized like, oh wait, I've got to actually act this thing out and it's
Yeah.
not going to be easy.
Mm.
But working with Robert, was so great and it brought out emotion in me that I didn't even know existed. And
Yeah.
I loved it. And I hope people check out the movie and are surprised by what they see for sure.
Robert, you had a great cast for this film. You had Frankie, you had Taylor, Violet, Marsha, really good
Yeah.
cast. Actors that have worked on a lot of different like genres, but have played different roles in those genres. What was kind of the game plan for each actor in regards to like, the character breakdowns and that script to screen journey, seeing them read the script and see it come to life on screen, so to speak?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the big thing is people who would work well together that really sort of had the look and are just every single one of these actors is extremely hardworking and comes with so many good ideas on their own.
Yeah.
And just after a little bit of talking with each of them, it's like, all right, because you're as a director, you're overseeing a ton of things.
Yeah.
And so to have other people who are adding more into, already dynamic characters, you just know that you're in great hands. And, that was true of Frankie and Violet and Taylor and certainly Marsha, and it's just, it's, you kind of pinch yourself at the end of the day and then you put them all together and can't ask for anything more.
Well, at some point, there's all the preparation and discussions you could do, but then, like, when you're actually going to film it, it's like press play it and it's like go, right? If you think about it, which is really interesting. But to kind of add to that a little bit, Frankie, I just wanted to know, like I said, diving into this sci-fi, you really enjoyed the script. It is all storytelling at the end of the day. You've kind of worked in a lot of different genres. How separate are past journeys and past projects for you compared to something like Renner? Like, do you bring mindsets, preparation from past projects from Malcolm in the Middle to something like Renner? Or are they all like completely done and separate once you wrap them? I'm curious about that.
I mean, I really have never been that type of actor, right? Like
Yeah.
I've heard stories or seen actors I've worked with that like literally dive into the characters and they can't break character for the whole filming or whatever it may be. And I've always kind of been the person that like I could definitely separate me from whatever I was doing on camera. I've been doing it since I was, 8 years old or whatever.
Yep.
But no, I wouldn't say there was much I could take from my past for this. This was definitely very different. I've played a few other dramatic characters, but nothing to this extent. Um, but I have a different mindset now too, right? When
Mhm.
I show up, like not that I didn't care back then, I 100% did. But when you take a break, you take a step back, you do some other things. I did the band, I did did other I'm racing, all that kind of stuff. I know the when you have opportunity in front of you. I, I want to give it 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I feel like I did that on this film,
Yep.
because it deserved it, right? The
Mhm.
script, Robert, everybody deserved to get my 100%. And I wanted to do it for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I always want to look back at the projects I do now, no matter what it is, and feel like I did my best. And that feels good knowing that I feel that I did my best. And I'm
Absolutely. No,
happy with the movie.
absolutely. It's a really cool film. I really enjoyed watching it. And it's, a couple questions for a wrap up. I mean, Robert, it's interesting, right? Because sci-fi, thriller, horror, psychological, all those genres have always been around, right? But there has been
Sure.
this big kind of like boom and interest in that content, I would say, like the last like 5 to 10 years. So I'm wondering what it was like for you from a director perspective, diving into a genre, right, with sci-fi, that there's a really big popularity appetite around it. Like, is there pressure? Is it just in general exciting? Like, what's that like for you specifically?
The big thing I'm always asking myself is like, how can I make something that hasn't been done before?
Mhm.
And so that's why it was really important. Like, I watch a ton of sci-fi. I know what's out there, right? Like, and read just as many sci-fi books. And so the key was how to position this as something that's fresh, something that's new, that says something that's new. And that for me was really like the relationship with the mother.
Mhm.
And if we look at any good sci-fi, I mean, look at Frankenstein, right? Like it goes to these things that are timeless, that are specifically human. It just allows us to sort of dramatize it, put it outside of ourselves, which is also art, right? We put it up on a wall. It feels a little bit different, so it allows us to talk about it a little bit more. So I love the medium, and you know, it was yeah, fantastic to be able to contribute a piece, you know, in the large canon of sci-fi works.
Yeah, for sure. And before we wrap, super quick, Frank, I do have to ask because, you know, you say you've been doing this since you were 8. I mean, we are at some point going to get more Malcolm in the Middle in some capacity. I just wanted to ask, how exciting is it to kind of like at some point in some capacity go back and play that character again? You know what I mean? I know you don't know much, you can't say much, but it's pretty cool, right?
I know a lot. I know a lot. We've been doing some chemistry reads and stuff like that for some new characters I can't talk about, but it was so cool to be back in that world. You know what I mean? We start filming actually in April, so just prepping for that. It's going to be an absolute blast. So I can't wait to do it, and I can't wait for everybody to see it because I think they're going to be happy to see the family back all together.
Well, we'll get it when we get. Every time people say like, "What can you expect from that?" It's like we get it when we get it, but we know that we can get Renner now because we can go check it out very soon. So let's just go see Renner. Robert, Frank, it was so great chatting with you both. Thanks so much for your time.
You too.
Well,
thank you. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.